Okay, I'd like to talk about misidentification in the Bible. One of my favorite stories in the Bible is the story of Samson and the lion. Now, the Victor Mature movie has colored our vision of Samson and the lion. I contend that this is not the lion that Samson killed. My contention is it was a mountain lion. You can just tell they have these things on a similar platform, and the mountain lion compared to a human being, it's possible I outweigh this one. That one outweighs me by, I outweigh this one by a good 125 pounds. That one outweighs me by 200 pounds. Let's look at the skull differences too. So here is a mountain lion skull. You get a side view of it too. Here's my hand. And then here's is an African lion skull. So you see the difference in the skull size. By the way, this is the largest lion that ever lived, and it was an American lion. It's this big giant one here. You can tell it weighed twice as much as an African lion. And another thing I want to bring up is the story of Samson took place in the highlands of Judea. In olden times, several thousand years ago, there was mountain lions all over here in the highlands. The African lions that you see here are in the savannas of Africa, several thousand miles away. So this is commonly thought of the lion that he killed, but it was actually this guy, the mountain lion. Now, I want to bring up some other misidentifications that happen in the Bible. So if you get a 1611 King James Bible, one thing you need to keep in mind, the reason you get a copy of it, it isn't easy to read. It's in Middle English. However, there's a preface in there. So King James hired the 200 best theologians, linguists, translators, whatnot, to translate it. And there's a preface that's about 15 pages long, and in it they say they did the best they could, but there were some things they didn't understand. So they were aware of the regal line from classic literature. Most of them were trained, obviously, in Greek and Latin, and there was lots of these, and actually even in menageries around Europe. They didn't know about this guy. There are several other words mistranslated in there. So Hebrew has a limited number, has less than 6,000 words. So some of the words are dependent on how the sentence is used in a word. So when the prophet shut off the rain, it rained nowhere on the whole of the earth or the whole of the land for a year. The word there is eretz, which means earth, but it also means everything you're talking about. So that didn't mean it didn't rain in the rainforest, or it didn't rain on Madagascar, or it didn't rain in Australia or the highlands or whatever. Just anything germane to the story it didn't rain at. It was a drought in the land that was shut off. Similarly, in the rest of the story of Samson, he goes and he gets foxtails that binds them together and releases them in the field with firebrands between them. Now, for as many foxes as the number of animals mentioned in there would cover, if they were foxes, would cover 300 square miles. However, they've done this experiment and they've replicated it twice with jackals. So the word jackal would be the same word in Hebrew as a fox, a small canine. Now, they didn't know what a jackal was, the translators. However, foxes were plentiful around England, obviously. So they translated as foxes instead of jackals, which was the correct translation. There are several other words like that in Hebrew, and I'll cover them in other ones. I don't want this to go too long here. But anyway, the lion that Samson killed was not this guy. It was that guy. And count on God's word being true in its ultimate primal form. That Samson and Delilah story, the Victor Mature movie is very good. I like it. It's filled with a lot of inaccuracies because it was made in Hollywood. But anyway, thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'm out.